And now, moving on, and to add more to the treasure trove of information, let's proceed to another thought leadership talk on shaping the future of construction industry. Please welcome on stage Mr. Mohammad Kamran Basit, founder and CEO at Indus Technology Solutions Private Limited.
Assalamu alaikum ji. My name is Kamran Basit, and I'm the founder and CEO of Indus Technology Solutions. So at first, I'd like to thank the organizer and the sponsor specifically for this initiative. So I think it's about time that Pakistan witnesses such kind of thing in engineering and construction industry. So I mean, just as a brief, we are, in a cusp of a new era. We are entering a new era where we are advancing, like technology is advancing at a rapid pace, and at the same time, we have a lot of challenges being faced by the human civilization. So from that standpoint, it's very important that how we shape the next, basically, era, and how we shape it, it depends how we shape it today. So from that standpoint, shaping the future of construction, that's the topic that we have. A bit slight introduction about myself. I'm an electrical engineer, and I've been working in this industry for the past 10 years. And I've been working with the GEs of the world. I've been working with the Power Chinas. I've been working on the large, big, basically mega dam projects in Pakistan as well. So I'm part and parcel of the industry, and as well as I bring the technology part as well, where we are partnered to Oracle. And as far as our new tool is concerned, so we are trying to develop a new platform for the construction industry. So moving on, the agenda that we have for today. So what I'm sure the people sitting over here come from the engineering, and ENC stands for engineering and construction. So I'll just give you a brief on the industry. I think I better use this. Hello, can you guys hear me? Okay, yeah. So I'll just brief you guys on the overview of the industry, how it's looking like, the challenges, a very brief run on the challenges. The market analysis, I mean, this is very important, what the government, what the insights are from the industry. And then a slight overview on the operational dynamics. And then what is the way forward in terms what will shape, and the last one, how we shape it, how we shape the future actually. So moving on, as the previous speakers, they've mentioned few things about the industry. So just a quick overview. Engineering and construction is a USD $10 trillion plus industry. It has a 13% of GDP, global GDP goes into engineering and construction. And very interestingly, it is one of the largest industries in the world. So, and as Oxford Economics says that the compound annual growth rate, it will turn out to be a $15 trillion industry by 2030. Now the interesting thing comes is that 7% of world's working population is working in this industry as well, which is about, as per ILO, the International Labour Organization, and McKinsey, 28 million professionals and 250 million, basically, people are working in this organization, in this industry. So moving on, the interesting part comes in that it's one of the least digitalized industries. So, I mean, from that standpoint, and by the way, these are not Pakistan facts or figures. This is global, basically, facts and figures that I'm quoting over here. So it's one of the least, and it's incredibly slow in terms of technology adoption as well. And like since 1940, the bottom basically thing, you can see that since 1945, US manufacturing sector has seen 1,500% productivity improvement just because of the control systems that we've seen in the industry, whereas in comparison, construction is just 1%. So that's the overall overview of the industry that we have today, a brief run on the overview. So moving on. So this is the page that I usually see almost. I make sure that I see this page once a week, because this is a perfect constellation of the challenges that the industry is facing constantly. So I'll just have a quick run on each of the challenges, and I'm sure the industry people sitting over here, they probably have a similar kind of basically opinion as well. So poor productivity. So 1% productivity improvement has been seen in the industry, which is actually near nothing. Whereas when we see other industries, healthcare, finance and all that, so they have been increasing like incremental, you can say productivity increase around 4 to 5%. Data silos, as Qureshi Saab also mentioned, the industry is operating in data silos. Later down the line, I'll mention in the operational dynamics that how data silos are based. Data is, you can say, limited to a system or limited to a phase of the project as well. So from that standpoint, that's one of the challenges as well. Workforce challenges, it's something that we get to hear constantly. And for me, workforce challenge that I've seen specifically in the government sector, specifically with WAPDA, the organization I've been working with closely, when जब एक अफसर जाता है तो वो अपने साथ सारी मेमोरी ले जाता है तो वो सारी जो एक्सपीरियंसेस होते हैं इट्स आई कॉल इट द इंस्टीट्यूशनल मेमोरी नहीं है और ये the challenge is not only with Pakistan, it is actually a global challenge as well, that when people leave the industry or when the people leave a project, for instance, then project is like at a hold for at least couple of weeks, and then new regime comes in, and then they start to move forward. So that's one of the challenges that I've seen as far as the industry is concerned. Lower technology adoption. It is one of the lowest. I don't want to say that, but globally, McKinsey's and the Boston Consulting, they all say that the industry is a laggard. So they are the least, digitalized, and they're too backward in terms of adoption. Weak collaboration. So there are two kinds of collaborations. One is the project collaboration, where we have, as per FIDIC, the engineer, the contractor, and the employer. Whereas there is an industry level collaboration where the academia, where the industry, where the government needs to work together, and technology industry as well, to basically move industry forward. So the industry is having collaboration week at the level of project as well as the industry. Then quality issues. This is something that I've been personally witnessing a lot in Pakistan, globally as well. I'll give you a few examples. I can give that. We've seen Neelam Jhelum, one of the hydropower projects. It's a $5 billion project, and we spent a lot of money on that. And unfortunately, right after 1 year of operations, uska ek tunnel basically gir gaya tha. And that was primarily because of the quality issues in the concreting that was not done properly. So on and so forth. UK ka ek Liverpool ka hospital tha. So from that standpoint, there are a lot of challenges that the industry, not only in Pakistan, but globally, there are a lot of quality issues that are being faced by the industry. Cost and schedule overruns, standard issue of the industry. As per McKinsey, they said that a usual project is basically 20% schedule overrun and 80% cost overrun. So people from the industry are quite familiar with these basically issues of the industry. Lack of inventiveness and R&D. This is something that industry not only lacks, but rather they don't even have the acumen to invest in technology, and they lack R&D as well. So, and last one, which is very important. I come from Lahore, and I'm a victim of high level of greenhouse gas emission, because right now Lahore is super polluted. so पहले तो हम कहते थे green washing हो रही है, लेकिन अब मैं लाहौर से आया तो the smog there is this is something that needs to be it's not a joke anymore for us now. I think this is something that needs to be addressed ASAP. Globally भी हो रहा है. Actually, I was in Riyadh about 2 weeks ago. Over वहाँ पे एक Procter convention था. And actually, Europe and US, they are coming up with very strong regulations in order to, come up with the right framework for the future of construction, because 44% of UN के sustainability goals, the 17 sustainability goals, are linked with construction. So cement, as per World Economic Forum, cement and steel, they're contributing 10% to greenhouse gas emissions. और ये दोनों वो materials and raw materials जो इस industry में use होते हैं. So, that is something that's very important. So that's just a constellation of challenges that we have a very high level framework. So we'll move on to the next slide quickly. So market analysis, this is very important. This is specifically important for the people who are from the industry, and I really want that, we understand what people are actually globally thinking about, that where the industry is headed and what needs to be done. So there are basically 5 parables that I've drawn over here. One is from US Department of Transport. The other one is Construction Innovation Hub UK, which is an arm of UK IPA, Infrastructure Project Authority, within the Cabinet Division. NEOM, as we all know, it is the new city being built by the Saudis under the Vision 2030 of PIF. And AECOM is a top consulting, engineering consulting organization. McKinsey & Company, it's one of the top management consulting organization. So in a nutshell, let's start with US Department of Transport. Now, US Department of Transport, already they are using a lot of digital tools for their project delivery, from design to construction to build. But what they say right now is that their data is not utilized. There is massive underutilization of data. And this is a roadmap to 2030. This is their policy. They came up with a policy that all the states need to follow this policy in terms of adopting a framework where data is utilized. Because right now there's you can say, a bombardment of digital data that is coming in, and there are systems not able to consume that data. So this is what US Department of Transport is saying. Then UK Construction Innovation Hub, they are like, because I think, if I'm not wrong, there's about 700 billion pound spent for basically UK infrastructure specifically. And they really are like, the way we are operating right now, we cannot do it the same way. We need to come up with a platform approach. So as per their TIP, which is transforming infrastructure, they report again their policy from the government. And they're like, how we need to change the way we are operating. NEOM, they're like, if we want to construct this new line, I hope you all are aware of the line project, we cannot do it with the existing technologies available. So from that standpoint, it's very important. They really need to change the modus of operandi to deliver these giga projects in Saudi. So AECOM, one of the vice presidents in AEOM, basically the guys who are actually having their feet on the ground, they say that construction needs to know the technologies are focusing on parts and processes. And that's why it creates digital silos that I call them. And when you're actually operating in a project environment, you are actually bombarded with a lot of digital things, and you don't have I personally think humans do not have that capacity to have that much absorption of basically digital data. So from that standpoint, AECOM is also, because these are the engineering people on ground. AECOM is like Mott MacDonald, Nesparks of the world. McKinsey and Company, we are all aware of it as well. So they have really good basically documents basically which are publicly available, which you all can see with reference to construction. So they have a very specific emphasis. Primarily why? Because I think it's linked with a lot of UN sustainability goals and carbon. So from that standpoint, they're also of the opinion that the technology is maturing in the industry, but at the same time, like it's lagging behind all the sectors. Even, construction lags behind agriculture as well. So a very, you can say, a very overall picture that over here, that insight from global industry. This is not Pakistan. Obviously, Pakistan has a different dynamics, which I'll cover in the next slide. But nonetheless, this is an overall brief picture that I wanted to paint with respect to what people are thinking globally about this industry. Moving on, okay, this is, as we all are aware, the operational dynamics of this industry is we design, we build, we manage. Now, this is a very standard thing, but why I've put it like this is the data flow of this industry. And unfortunately, even to date, not only in Pakistan, globally, the data is operating in silos. Each operational phase, यहाँ पे एक आता है tender document. Tender document एक PDF बन के cloud पे uploaded है, and आप उसके बाद construction करते हैं. So all this flow of data is in silos. तो एक जो कुरैशी साहब basically बात कर रहे थे, it's actually we need to build, design to manage eventually. So हमारी जो cost of, जैसे कहते हैं life cycle cost of the asset depends on how we manage. But again, उसका जो कह लें जो main cost point है वो design के अंदर है, how we are designing it. So right now the challenge that I've seen personally as an engineer working in mega dam projects, and I've seen operation maintenance of the plants as well. So from that standpoint, I can see that all these are silos. जो मैनेज वाला बंदा है उसने डेटा देना है डिज़ाइन के लिए असल में, लेकिन वो साइलोज में ऑपरेट कर रहा है. सो दैट्स वाई वी हैव मैनेजमेंट की हमारी जो ऑपरेशन मेंटेनेंस की कॉस्ट है वो ऊपर चली जाती है. इस तरह बिल्ड है, बिल्ड के अंदर मल्टीपल चीज़ें, दे आर ऑपरेटिंग इन साइलोज. सो ओवरऑल दिस इज द डेटा साइकिल दैट वी हैव इन अ स्टैंडर्ड project, जिसके अंदर में construction is just over here, but obviously this is the entire life cycle view of the projects. So this is, so we'll move on. So what needs to be done? So okay, after, having a run on all these analysis, having a deeper depth on working in the industry, and then we are also partnered to Oracle, we are partnered to Emerson, in Pakistan, and we have had a run on all the technologies, you can say that. So from that standpoint, we've come to this conclusion, and not only us, it's actually with the analytics that we've seen in the industry, it's actually that it's about time that this industry needs an operating system. So operating system का I'll draw a very simple example. Back in 1950s, जब Windows नहीं था and iOS नहीं था, तो तब जो program load होता था ना, वो magnetic tape में बंदा जाके खड़ा होता था physically, and he used to literally load a Word file or an Excel file, for instance. तो मैं खड़ा हूँ, तो मैं Word load कर रहा हूँ, मैं उसको unload करूँगा, अगला बंदा आके Excel load. Just imagine, हम इस वक्त इस तरह काम कर रहे होते. So that's how the construction industry is operating right now. So we really need, it's about time that industry is looking for a tool जो basically it's an operating system. An operating system क्या होता है basically? जिसके अंदर data की supply chain, right side पे आप लोग देख रहे हैं, this is a data supply chain. So how data is precisely collected. Iski misal, I'll put it because concreting is one of the biggest, basically, you can say, processes in construction industry. So concreting ka, if people are coming from civil side as well, तो उनको idea होगा कि how important is the temperature data of concrete. अगर आपके data monitoring temperature की नहीं हो रही सही तरह concrete की, that means there's something is wrong. The same happened with Neelam Jhelum as well. उनकी data monitoring मिसाल है, same happened in UK as well, जहाँ पे data monitoring सही तरह नहीं कर रहे. For instance, 18 डिग्री आपका लिखा हुआ है कि आपका temperature time of pour होना चाहिए. अगर वो नहीं है तो that means आपकी बाद में heat of hydration होगी. अगर आप heat of hydration में 50 डिग्री से ऊपर आपका temperature है, that means आपके concrete में cracks आएंगे. And hence we see a lot of issues in the civil structures. So from that standpoint, it's very important that we have precise data collection. The management and flow of data is equally very important, going to the right audience and the right logic and to the right people. And that's how we build logical functions, which is part and process of the data supply chain. And automatically, what I believe, basically, जो industry lack कर रही है इस वक्त, हमारे पास अक्सर scheduling का data आता है, cost का data आता है, मैं उसको fictional data कहता हूँ. Why? Because वो data is having a lot of, that does not depict the true picture at times. क्यों? क्योंकि उसके पीछे सिस्टमैटिक अप्रोच नहीं है, उसके पीछे सिस्टम इनपुट्स नहीं है, उसके ऊपर मैनुअल इनपुट्स खड़ी हुई हैं. एंड दैट्स द चैलेंज कि जब आप सप्लाई चेन के अंदर डेटा को ऑटोमेट करेंगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपको ट्रू पिक्चर ऑफ आएगी, ताकि द पीपल हु आर मैनेजिंग द प्रोजेक्ट्स दे कैन हैव द राइट data to actually make the right decision. So that's basically the concept of an operating system. So I'll move on to the last slide. How the way forward kya hai? How do we move ahead? So we call this approach as a multi-geared, multi-phased approach. So there, as you can see, there are multiple gears. The bigger gear is the system gear. The smaller gear is the people gear. Obviously, we need to have people in sync with the system. If people are not using the system, or if a system is used less, that means it's used less. If it's used less, I'll repeat, if a system is used less, it's used less. So we need to have people in sync. And from that standpoint, it's very important that we actually move towards that part, future readiness of academia. ये कुरैशी साहब ने भी mention किया और ये अपना बहरिया वाले साहब ने mention किया. This is Rizwan साहब, yes, thank you. तो it's very important. देखिए जी, जो पुराने बाबे हैं ना, उन्होंने तो नहीं टूल इस्तेमाल करना, very clear. So let's be honest कि हमने जो, और एक और चीज़ जो मैंने देखी है, मैं तो इस इंडस्ट्री में आ गया as a young guy. The problem of this industry is ये अगली रिसोर्स को पुल नहीं कर रही. अगला जो टैलेंट आ रहा है ना, वो किसी फाइनेंस इंडस्ट्री में जा रहा है, वो किधर आप यू हार्डली सी कि अगला बंदा इंजीनियर के लिए भी जा रहा है, बिकॉज हमने इंडस्ट्री की पिक्चर ऐसे पोर्ट्रे की हुई है. सो इन ऑर्डर टू अट्रैक्ट, आई गो स्लो ऑन दिस, इन ऑर्डर टू अट्रैक्ट द फ्यूचर टैलेंट इन अ $10 trillion plus इंडस्ट्री ग्लोबली, वी रियली नीड टू मूव माउंटेन्स नाउ. आपने एकेडमिया के साथ लिंकेज करना है, आपने बच्चों को बताना है अगले कि हाँ जी, द इंडस्ट्री क्या है, और दैट ऑब्वियसली कम्स विद द लेफ्ट एरो, which is what रिजवान साहब ने mention किया. जो मैंने globally देखा है, I am Oracle partner right now as well. We are working on the document management scheduling tool and as well as another process management tool. US ने 2006 में एक डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट नहीं, उनकी पॉलिसी लेके आए थे कि अब जितने अगले पब्लिक सेक्टर प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं वो EDMS पे आएंगे, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डाटा डॉक्यूमेंट मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम पे आएंगे, और स्केजुलिंग जो है वो हमें इधर माइक्रोसॉफ्ट प्रोजेक्ट्स और प्राइमरा P6 के ऊपर होगी. Policy making drives the adoption, period. सिंगापुर उठा लें, UK उठा लें, यूरोप उठा लें. Policy making ने public sector, I don't know about other industries, लेकिन मैं इस इंडस्ट्री के ऊपर बताता हूँ. With data, when जब policy आई है, regulation आई है, automatically industry ने adopt किया है. I met European Union PropTech Association chairman about 2 weeks ago in Riyadh again. And he was like, Kamran, you have no idea कि यूरोप कितना काम कर रहा है रेगुलेशन के ऊपर. The moment वो कहते हैं जी बैंक फाइनेंस नहीं कर सकता प्रोजेक्ट जब तक वो पूरा नहीं करते. अब एक आपकी अलहदा वो बना रहे हैं, पासपोर्ट बना रहे हैं फॉर बिल्डिंग्स, वेयर उसका वो ग्रीन रिलेटेड, बिकॉज दे आर वेरी मच इनटू दैट. So from that standpoint, it's very important. Policy making is very important. R&D and again innovative ecosystem. That's how we create the innovative ecosystem. So all these gears need to work in sync, where we do pilots, where there is people transformation as well as future readiness, where we are working with the academia. So again, it's an ecosystem, and there is something that this industry is about time. This industry needs attention, even in Pakistan and globally as well. So that's about it from my end. Any questions and clarifications? Yes, sir, please.
About a month ago, one of my principals was, they are a German consultancy firm. About a month ago, there was this BIM Management Germany conference. Okay, so Kamran, okay, yeah. So Kamran ने जो बात की है ना, electronic data management system, it is actually the BIM, building integration, yeah, building information modeling की जो सारा है. BIM is a regulation that is going to happen just like you'll have your COP20 or COP28 जो अब आने वाला है. BIM is something that you should be aware of in the construction, in the development industry. It is going to become a regulation very soon in Europe and in the US. So Kamran का जो आखिरी slide थी, and slide number 4, your slides are actually the shape of, yeah, the last one, this one, and the slide, yeah, the previous one, yeah. So the number 4, sorry. They are actually the future that you're looking at. What he's talking about. This is BIM. This is BIM. Okay. So it is from the time that you conceive a project. जिस दिन आपने 10 लोग बैठ के और कहा कि जी ओके मैंने ये बिल्डिंग तैयार करनी है, उस दिन से जो आपने डॉक्यूमेंटेशन की या जो इन्फॉर्मेशन की या डेटाबेसेस बनाए, जो मार्केट स्टडीज़ की, वहाँ से शुरू होके up till the end when the building is demolished, the entire thing is going to be in the BIM. And beware कि governments का access उसके अंदर एक शामिल है in the regulations that are coming out. So,
Hello. Yeah. The large EDMS, is it audible? Yeah. The large EDMS suppliers, now they have specific modules for US government projects, for UK government projects, because as you said, Qureshi Saab, that regulation is there. And another thing about BIM that I would like to notify over here, usually BIM ke saath hamara misconception hai, it's 3D model. That's a misconception. BIM is actually building information modeling. It's not 3D model alone. So from that standpoint, we really need to take it. Even BIM is evolving as it's not a single tool. I would say it's a concept. So BIM is not it's all right, no worries. Hello? Yeah. So BIM is a concept. It's a framework rather. It's not a single tool. So it can give you 3D. It can basically, the main thing about, the main thing that we need to understand the data supply chain. We really need to understand the operational dynamics and how the data is moving on. And from that standpoint, it's very important. An owner, an operator needs to have a life cycle view of the asset. So that's, I think, the final note from my end.